William Anthony Tony Parker, Jr. is a French professional basketball point guard with the San Antonio Spurs of the National Basketball Association. The son of a professional basketball player, Parker played for 2 years in the French Basketball League before entering the 2001 NBA draft. He was selected by the San Antonio Spurs with the 28th overall pick in the draft and quickly became their starting point guard, helping the Spurs win 4 NBA championships in 2003, 2005, 2007 and 2014. Employing his pace and high field goal percentage to great effect, Parker has been named to 6 NBA All-Star games, 3 All-NBA second teams, and an All-NBA third team. He was the 2007 NBA Finals MVP. Parker was named as the Eurobasket 2013 MVP following his team's victory over Lithuania in the gold medal game. The point guard finished as the tournament's top scorer with 19 points per game. Parker is also a music artist with his own music album TP. He married actress Eva Longoria on July 7, 2007. In November 2010, both parties filed for divorce. Early life: Parker was born in Bruges, Belgium, but raised in France. His father, Tony Parker Sr., an African-American, played basketball at Loyola University Chicago as well as professionally overseas. His mother, Pamela Firestone, is a Dutch model. Parker enjoyed close relationships with his brothers and they would often attend their father's basketball games together. At first, Parker was more interested in soccer, but after watching the evolution of Michael Jordan into a global basketball superstar, he changed his mind. Moreover, Parker's 2 younger brothers were also heavily involved in basketball. TJ and Pierre would go on to play basketball at college and professional levels. As Parker built his skill, his lack of size decided his position on court. He played the point guard position, recognizing that his speed and agility made this position ideal for him. He was eventually talent spotted and asked to attend the National Institute for Sports and Physical Education in Paris. After playing in the French amateur leagues for 2 seasons, Parker turned professional and signed with Paris Basket Racing in 1999. In the summer of 2000, Parker was invited to the Nike Hoop Summit in Indianapolis. There, in front of professional scouts and college coaches, he competed against the likes of future NBA players Darius Miles, Zach Randolph and Omar Cook. In a contest between the American and European All-Stars, Parker recorded 20 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds and 2 steals. The Frenchman's performance prompted a recruiting war among several colleges, including UCLA and Georgia Tech, who were on the verge of persuading Parker to join them. However, Parker decided to forego the NCAA and to remain in France. He spent the next year with Paris Basket Racing in the French League before entering the 2001 NBA draft. Career: San Antonio Spurs, first championship. Before the 2001 NBA draft, Parker was invited to the San Antonio Spurs summer camp. Parker's first experiences were daunting. Coach Greg Popovich had him play against Spurs scout and ex-NBA player Lance Blanks. Parker was so overwhelmed by Blank's tough and physical defense that Popovich was ready to send him away after just 10 minutes. But after seeing a best-of mixtape of Parker's best plays, Popovich decided to invite Parker a second time. This time, Parker made a better impression against Blanks. The Frenchman later described Blanks as a one-man wrecking crew. But while Popovich decided that Parker was worth the gamble, the Spurs still had to hope that other teams would not pick Parker during the draft. As it happened, Parker's name was barely mentioned in the pre-draft predictions and the point guard was drafted 28th overall by the Spurs on draft day. After initially playing backup to Antonio Daniels, Parker became a starter and made 77 regular season appearances in his rookie season, averaging 9.2 points, 4.3 assists and 2.6 rebounds in 29.4 minutes per game. When he played against the Los Angeles Clippers on November 30, 2001, he became the 3rd French player to play in an NBA game, after Tariq Abdul-Ahad and Jerome Moiseau. Parker increased the Spurs' game tempo, getting his teammates better looks at the basket whenever he was involved in transition offense. He could also hit open jump shots, and this created greater space for the big men on the team, Tim Duncan and David Robinson. By the end of the season, the rookie led San Antonio in assists and steals, and was named to the All-Rookie First Team for 2001-02, becoming the first foreign-born guard to earn the honor. Although the Spurs were eliminated during the playoffs, Parker's performances did not go unnoticed. In 2002-03, Parker played in all 82 regular season games as San Antonio's starting point guard on a team that was largely revamped from previous years. He improved his regular season statistics significantly, averaging 15.5 points per game, 5.3 assists per game and 2.6 rebounds per game. Parker's role as the team's playmaker was reflected in his leading the team in assists on 49 occasions. During the 2003 NBA All-Star Weekend, Parker represented the sophomores in the Got Milk Rookie Challenge, and also participated in the inaugural 989 Sports Skills Challenge. In the postseason, the Spurs, led by Tim Duncan, defeated the New Jersey Nets for a Euro-2 in the finals, and Parker earned his first NBA championship ring. Despite the victory, Parker struggled with inconsistent play throughout the playoffs, and was often substituted for the more experienced guards Steve Kerr and Speedy Claxton late in the games. Throughout the season, Parker also felt that he was often criticized too harshly by Coach Popovich. In retrospect, Coach Popovich admitted he was critical of his young playmaker, stating he wanted Parker to build a thick skin and mature sooner than his peers. Second championship. Despite winning a championship with the Spurs, doubts lingered over Parker's future. The Spurs had attempted and failed to acquire New Jersey Nets' Jason Kidd, but Parker told Coach Popovich that he wanted to be San Antonio's starting point guard and he was ready to work hard to become a great player. Parker played well during the regular season, recording 14.7 ppg, 5.5 apg and 3.2 apg. However, the Spurs were defeated by perennial rivals Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Conference semi-finals in the 2004 NBA playoffs, and the favorites were denied back-to-back titles. During the 2004-05 season, Parker recorded improved regular season statistics, tallying 16.6 ppg, 6.1 apg and a career-high 3.7 apg. He was also ranked 13th in the league in total assists, and was third among point guards in field goal percentage. The Spurs were strong in the playoffs, and Parker was instrumental in the victories over the Denver Nuggets, Seattle Supersonics and Phoenix Suns. However, Parker struggled in the final series against the Detroit Pistons. Spurs colleagues Manu Ginobili and Brent Barry often took over playmaking duties as Parker was unable to perform as well as he did in the regular season. Pitted against ex-Finals MVP and All-Defensive Team member Chauncey Billups, Parker's jump shot became inconsistent, and his trademark drives to the hoop were often smothered by the defensively strong Pistons frontcourt anchored by four-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year Ben Wallace. Nevertheless, with the combination of Tim Duncan's consistent performances, the emergence of Argentine star Ginobili, clutch shooting by Robert Horry and Parker operating as playmaker, the Spurs won their third-ever NBA championship by defeating the defending champions for a Euro-3 in the 2005 NBA Finals. Third championship. Parker was selected for the first time in his career an NBA All-Star for the 2005 Euro-06 season as he managed 18.9 ppg and an impressive .548 in field goal percentage. Parker's scoring average was even higher than Duncan's, and his form propelled the Spurs to a 63 Euro-19 win a Euro loss record and qualification for the 2006 NBA playoffs. However, the top-seeded Spurs were again unable to win back-to-back titles as they were eliminated in the second round by the Dallas Mavericks. On February 14, 2007, after delivering consistent numbers in the first half of the 2006 Euro-07 season, Parker was selected to play in the 2007 NBA All-Star Game as a reserve guard. With Parker operating as the starting point guard in the 2006 Euro-07 season, the Spurs qualified for the 2007 NBA playoffs and finished second in the Southwest Division. In the Western Conference semifinals, the Spurs met the Phoenix Suns led by two-time and reigning NBA MVP Steve Nash. In the matchup versus the best point guard of his generation, Parker used his speed to score an easy layup, or hit with his improved mid-range jump shot. Suns coach Mike D'Antoni even used all-defensive team forward Sean Marion to cover Parker, but the Frenchman used the pick and roll to beat his much bigger counterpart. After eliminating the Suns, the Spurs defeated the Utah Jazz 4-1 to win the Western Conference Finals. Parker and the Spurs went on to face the Cleveland Cavaliers and swept them 4-0 to win the 2007 NBA Finals. In the series, Parker consistently outplayed his Cavaliers counterparts Daniel Gibson and all-defensive team member Larry Hughes and scored a series-high 24.5 points, accompanied by a high field goal percentage of 56.8% and a 57.1% from three-point range. For his performances, he was named the 2007 NBA Finals MVP, becoming the first European-born player to receive the award. Falling short. In the 2007-08 regular season, Parker recorded similar averages as the previous two seasons for points and rebounds, and slightly increased his assists per game average. The Spurs finished third in the Western Conference and faced the Phoenix Suns in the first round of the 2008 NBA playoffs. For the third time in 4 years, San Antonio prevailed over Phoenix. Parker had an outstanding first-round series, averaging nearly 30 points and 7 assists a game. In the next round against Chris Paul's New Orleans Hornets, the Spurs dropped the first two road games before responding with a strong win in the third game. In that game, Parker recorded a double-double with 31 points and 11 assists. The experienced Spurs took 7 games to defeat the Hornets, but were unable to get past arch-rivals Los Angeles Lakers in the conference finals, and the Spurs once again failed to capture back-to-back NBA championships. San Antonio got off to a rocky start in their 2008-09 NBA season, losing the first 3 contests. In their fourth game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, however, Parker scored a career-high 55 points to lead the Spurs to their first victory of the campaign. The Spurs recovered soon enough, and approached the All-Star break ranked second in the conference. With Parker averaging a career-high in points per game, he was named as a reserve for the 2009 All-Star Game. The Spurs were without influential shooting guard Gina Cubed-Bilide for much of the season, and greater responsibility fell on Parker's shoulders. He helped lead the team to a 54-28 record in the third seed for the playoffs. In Game 4 of the first round against Dallas, Parker matched George Gervin's franchise playoff record for points in a half at 31. However, the Spurs were put on the back pedal from the start and eventually lost 4-1, bowing out of the playoffs in the first round for the first time since 2000. Parker's 28.6 points and 4.2 rebounds per game broke his previous playoffs career best averages of 22.4 points and 3.7 rebounds. On May 13, 2009, he was named to the All-NBA third team. During the 2011-12 NBA season, Parker helped the Spurs reach the best record in the West for the second straight season. The team tied the Chicago Bulls for the best overall record in the league. On February 4, 2012, Parker became the all-time assist leader of the franchise with 4,477, surpassing Avery Johnson, while adding 42 points in a victory against Oklahoma City Thunder. The Spurs secured their 13th straight 50-win season despite the lockout, and Parker received his 4th All-Star nod. He finished 5th in MVP award voting, receiving 4 first-place votes. Late in the season, the Spurs signed Parker's longtime friend Boris Diaw, who was claimed off waivers from the Charlotte Bobcats, to add energy to the Spurs. In the 2012 NBA playoffs, Parker averaged 20.1 points and 6.8 assists as the Spurs swept through the first 2 rounds, defeating the Utah Jazz and the Los Angeles Clippers. In the Western Conference Finals, the Spurs faced the young Oklahoma City Thunder. After winning Game 1 and Game 2, 101 euro 98 and 120 euro 111 respectively, and taking a 2-0 series lead, the Spurs lost 4 consecutive games, thus losing the series for euro 2. In their second game of the 2012 Euro 13 season, the Spurs faced the Thunder in a rematch of the previous Western Conference Finals, and Parker hit a game winner to secure a win for the Spurs. On December 10, 2012, Parker got his first career triple-double after 825 regular season games against the Houston Rockets in overtime with 27 points, 12 rebounds, and 12 assists. He was the 4th player in NBA history to have gone 800 games or more into their career before their first triple-double, joining Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, and Cedric Maxwell. Parker was named Western Conference Player of the Month for the month of January 2013 for leading the Spurs to a 12-3 record, and the best record in the NBA. He averaged 21.9 points per game and 7.9 assists per game that month while shooting 56.3% from the field. He became the first Spurs player to receive the honor since Tim Duncan in April 2002. On May 21, 2013, Parker recorded a career-high 18 assists to go with 15 points in the Spurs' Western Conference Finals Game 2 victory over the Memphis Grizzlies. In Game 1 of the 2013 NBA Finals against the defending champion Miami Heat, Parker hit a clutch jump shot off the glass with 5.2 seconds remaining in the game, securing a 92-88 victory for San Antonio. In Game 6, Parker hit a clutch game-tying three-pointer with 1:27 remaining in regulation, but the Spurs lost the game in overtime. The Spurs eventually lost the series in 7 games. 4th championship. On May 2014, thanks to a win in the first game of the Western Conference Finals against Oklahoma City Thunder, Tony Parker alongside Manu Ginobili and Tim Duncan tied the record for most wins in playoffs history by a trio of players playing together. Record held by LA Lakers trio of Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Cooper at 110 wins. The Spurs would win Game 2 and break the record for most wins by a trio with 111 wins. San Antonio defeated Oklahoma City in 6 games and advanced to the NBA Finals for the second straight year. The Spurs would once again face the Miami Heat, this time winning the 2014 NBA Finals in 5 games. San Antonio won their 5th championship and it was Parker's 4th championship. ASVEL Villeurbanne. During the 2011 NBA lockout, Parker signed with ASVEL Villeurbanne, the team in which he owns a stake. However, unlike other players who signed lucrative contract overseas during the lockout, Parker opted to play in his home country for minimum wage. Parker, who in the summer had received a 4-year contract extension from the Spurs worth over $50 million, received only $2,000 per month from ASVEL. He also paid his own insurance, which reportedly cost $250,000 for 3 months. International career. Parker played for France's junior national teams at the 1997 FIBA Europe Under-16 Championship, both the 1998 and 2000 FIBA Europe Under-18 Championships, and the 2002 FIBA Europe Under-20 Championship. He was elected the most valuable player of the 2000 FIBA Europe Under-18 Championship, when France captured the gold medal, as he averaged 14.4 points and 2.5 assists per game. Parker averaged 25.8 points, 6.8 assists, and 6.8 steals per game at the 2002 FIBA Europe Under-20 Championship. With the French senior national team, Parker has played in the 2001, 2003, 2005, 2007, 2009, 2011 and 2013 FIBA Eurobaskets. France won the bronze medal in the 2005 FIBA Eurobasket, by defeating the Spanish national team 98-68 in the bronze medal game. As the captain of the French national team since 2003, Parker was slated to lead France at the 2006 FIBA World Championship, but he was unable to play after breaking a finger when he caught his hand in the jersey of a Brazilian national team player in France's final warm-up for the tournament. During the Eurobasket 2007, Parker averaged 20.1 points per game and 2.8 assists per game in 9 tournament games, but France was defeated in the quarter-finals by the Russian national team. He passed the 2010 FIBA World Championship to recover fully from some injuries he had during the 2009 Euro 10 NBA season. Parker returned to the team in 2011, and France reached the finals of the 2011 Eurobasket, losing to Spain. Parker also joined the team for the 2012 Summer Olympics in London. In 2013, Parker and the French national team won the 2013 FIBA Eurobasket tournament. International stats, player profile, Parker plays the point guard position and has established himself as a potent scorer. Voted by his peers in a 2007 poll as one of the quickest players in the NBA, he often slashes to the basket for a layup or teardrop shot. Despite his relatively small size for a basketball player, he led the league in points in the paint for a large portion of the 2005 Euro 06 season. In the initial part of his NBA career, Parker was still considered an erratic shooter of the ball, and during the 2005 off-season, coach Popovich decided to work on this aspect of his play. Seeing his mediocre shooting percentages, he let him train extra sessions with Spurs shooting coach Chip Engelland. Engelland forbade Parker to shoot any three-point shots, and among others, corrected his shooting motion and his thumb position. As a result, by the 2006 Euro 07 season, Parker had reduced his three-point shots by 117 while shooting 147 more normal field goal attempts compared to 2005, and his accuracy rose by 4% and he was able to connect on 78% of his free throws that season. Parker's field goal percentage is also high for a point guard, and his speed also makes him a fast break player. However, his style of play has had adverse effects on his knees. Honors, NBA career statistics, correct as of February 17, 2014, regular season, playoffs, off the court, ASVEL Villeurbanne. In 2009, Parker bought a 20% stake in the French ASVEL Villeurbanne club. He currently holds the ceremonial title of Vice President of Basketball Operations. Parker has the option to purchase an additional 20% and assume the club's presidency, presumably when he retires from the NBA. During the 2011 NBA lockout, Parker signed to play for ASVEL for minimum wage until the lockout ended. Family life. Parker's parents continue to remain influential in his life even after their divorce. His mother, a health food coach, gives him tips on healthy eating, while he discusses his performance after each game with his father over the phone. Parker met actress Eva Longoria, 7 years his senior, in November 2004. In August 2005, Longoria confirmed she and Parker were dating, and on November 30, 2006, the couple became engaged. Longoria, a Texas native from nearby Corpus Christi, was a courtside regular at Spurs home games. Parker was quoted during the 2007 NBA All-Star Game saying that, "Eva is doing everything, I'm just going to show up and say yes." They were officially married in a civil service on July 6, 2007, at a Paris City Hall. It was followed by a full Roman Catholic wedding ceremony at the Saint-Germain-l'Auroy Church in Paris, France, on July 7, 2007. Fellow Frenchman and NBA player Boris Diaw was Parker's best man for the wedding. In December 2007, tabloid websites and magazines reported that Parker had been having an extramarital affair with supposed model Alexandra Perescent. Both Parker and Longoria vehemently denied these allegations through their spokespeople, saying all high-profile couples fall victim to these sorts of things in the course of their relationships. It appears that this is not the first time this woman has used an athlete to gain public notoriety. Parker initiated a $20 million lawsuit against the website that first reported the story, which later issued a full retraction and an apology, stating X170nline.com and X7, Sick, Incorporated regret having been misled by Ms. Perescent and her representatives and apologized to Mr. Parker for any damage or inconvenience this may have caused him or his wife. On November 17, 2010, Longoria filed for divorce in Los Angeles, citing irreconcilable differences, and seeking spousal support from Parker. The couple had a prenuptial agreement that was signed in June 2007, the month before their wedding, and amended 2 years later in June 2009. Longoria believed that Parker had been cheating on her with another woman. Extron identified the other woman as Erin Barry, the wife of Brent Barry, Parker's former teammate, and revealed that the Barrys are also in the midst of a divorce. On November 19, 2010, Parker filed for divorce from Longoria in Bexar County, Texas on the grounds of discord or conflict of personalities, thus establishing a legal battle over where the divorce case would be heard. Unlike Longoria's divorce petition, Parker's did not mention a prenuptial agreement and claimed that the parties will enter into an agreement for the division of their estate. The divorce was finalized in Texas on January 28, 2011, the same day Longoria's lawyer filed papers to dismiss her Los Angeles petition. Parker began dating French journalist Axel Francine in 2011. In June 2013, it was reported that they are engaged. They have one son, Josh Parker, born in April 2014. Philanthropy. In the field of philanthropy, Parker donates a block of 20 tickets for each home game to underprivileged youth. Parker is also the first ambassador for Make-A-Wish France. The foundation is a non-profit organization that grants wishes to children with life-threatening medical conditions. On his personal website, Parker states, "I already knew Make-A-Wish as it is very famous around the world and I have previously taken part in the granting of wishes by meeting children and their families. I decided to commit to working with Make-A-Wish France when I understood the true dedication there and I realized that I could help to grant as many wishes as possible." Music. Parker is an avid fan of hip-hop music and rap. He has released a French hip-hop album titled TP with producer Polygraphic. The album features collaborations with various artists including Booba, Don Hour, Eloquence, Eddie B, Jamie Foxx, K-Reen, Rickle and Soprano. The singles taken from the album include, Bienvenue dans le Texas, featuring French rapper Booba and released on March 17, 2007 and made available via iTunes. This initial release did not chart in France. Balance Toy, which features Longoria. It reached the number 1 position in the SNEP official French chart, staying there for 1 week. It also charted in the Belgian French Ultra-Deep charts, reaching number 4. Premier Love. The single made it to number 11 in SNEP, the official French singles chart. Other singles releases include, Top of the Game, featuring American rapper Fabolous and French rapper Booba, was released in March 2007. The accompanying video features Spurs teammate Tim Duncan, as well as former teammates Robert Horry, Brent Barry, and Nazr Muhammad. Albums, singles, other interests. Parker was also involved in the Paris bid for the 2012 Summer Olympics. His reaction to London's successful bid was, "I don't know what else we could have done. If we don't have it now, I guess we will never get it." The IOC seems to be very pro-Anglo-Saxon. "I feel extremely gutted." Parker has a well-known friendship with compatriot footballer Thierry Henry. The two were often seen together at some of Parker's NBA games. Parker was seen with his wife at Euro 2008 during one of France's matches. In 2012, Parker and his brothers opened a nightclub, Mauve Lounge, in San Antonio. However, the business closed down within a year. Nightclub injury. Parker was injured while present at the WIP nightclub in the Soho district of New York City when a brawl broke out between Chris Brown and Drake. Parker filed a $20 million suit against the nightclub. Parker risked missing the 2012 Summer Olympics after a piece of glass thrown in the fight deeply penetrated his eye, requiring surgery to remove. However, on July 6, 2012, he was cleared to participate. Movies and television. In 2008, Tony Parker co-directed with Jean-Marie Antonini a 1-hour film, 9, Unschiff, Unwhom. The biographical documentary film narrated by Benoit registered trademark T. Alamein was produced by Parker. Celebrities featured included basketball players Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Sean Elliott, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Steve Nash, and David Robinson. as well as footballers Thierry Henry and Zinedine copyright Dine Zidane, judo player David DeWillet, and musician and DJ Cut Killer, as well as Parker and Eva Longoria. Parker also appeared in the 2008 French film Asterix at the Olympic Games as Thomas Parker, and he has been given token roles in various TV series like Enapata copyright, in addition to the French series On Honest Par Coucher copyright. He also played himself in the short film The Angels, directed by star copyright Fane Marley. See also: List of National Basketball Association Career Assists Leaders, List of National Basketball Association Career Playoff Scoring Leaders, List of National Basketball Association Career Playoff Assists Leaders, List of National Basketball Association Career Playoff Turnovers Leaders, List of French NBA players, List of NBA players who have spent their entire career with one franchise, List of sportspeople with dual nationality, Notes. External links, official website, career statistics and player information from NBA.com, or a basketball-reference.com, FIBA profile, Tony Parker player profile, Tony Parker at the Internet Movie Database.